All right.
Yeah, with your boy Jay-Z.
What's
Shut up, Dylan.
What's up? So, I'm going to be doing a budget monarch thing. This is basically you pick up 3 of the structure deck, and then you make the deck. You're a fucking cut.
Okay, but I faced this deck personally. It still needs work, but it's quite powerful for what you get.
It does brick, but it works.
Yeah,
so
it bricked hard.
I'm going to start with the traps because I run bare minimum of traps. For the first trap, I run 1 escalation of the monarchs. It allows you to tribute summon on your opponent's turn. Pretty good, pretty easy, fairly simple. Next up for the traps, I run 2 of the prime monarch. It's either tribute fodder or it lets you draw a card, so you know it's pretty nice. And you recur spells or traps from the graveyard, and recur itself, so on. Then I run 3 of the monarch's eruption. Monarch's erupt.
Should we get the erupt, or the erupt, or the erupt?
That's a pantheism reference there, sir.
Exactly.
So, you know, scale drain with less than or without the 1,000 life point cost. Pretty simple, pretty easy.
Yeah.
You know, all you have to do is have a tribute summon monster on your board, and that's all the traps I run.
Now let's get into the monsters or spells. Yeah. Okay.
Next up, the obvious one, 3 domain. So obviously you want to run 3 of this. Shuts your opponent out of the spell and trap, or out of the extra deck. If you control a tribute summon monster and you have no extra deck, and then anytime one of your tribute summon monsters attacks, it gains 800 attack. So it turns your level 8s with 2800 attack into 3600s when you beat attack over something. And believe it or not, there's a monster in here that completely kills Solomon Greats, but we'll get into that here in a second. Next up, run 3 tenacity, searches any of your monarch spell or traps by revealing a monarch or any other splashable monsters that meet requirements. Next up, I run 3 of return. It searches out anything with 28 or 2400 attack and 1000 defense. And whenever you tribute summon, which you tribute summon a lot in this deck, fairly easy, fairly simple.
I learned that firsthand.
Then next up for the spells, we have March of the Monarchs, makes all your stuff unable to be targeted and destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Then we have Pantheism, obvious staple, limited to 1 for a good reason. Just not a hard once per turn. Yeah, not a hard once per turn on ditching a spell or trap to draw 2, banish it. The banish effect is the hard ones.
Dude, I've only been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for a year. You played back when Monarchs were one of the top decks.
Yeah, I did. No. Bad boy.
This is not a game of slap ass, dude.
You're next.
Bad boy.
Oh my.
Behave.
Okay, but what?
And then finally, Monarch Stormforth. You can combo this with Escalation to get a free tribute summon on your opponent's turn by tributing one of their monsters, so it turns one of your, monarchs into a kaiju.
Yeah.
So that's it for the spells. Then we'll move into the monsters.
Yeah.
Since she's freshly off the ban list at 3, I'm running 3 Aether. You can't.
The main woman herself.
The big monster beat stick herself.
She don't need no man.
Nope. Whenever you tribute summon her, pitch 2 spell or traps from your deck to the grave, and then special summon 1 from the deck. So it's a free search because on end phase it goes back to your hand, and she can tribute summon on your opponent's turn by banishing a spell or trap out of your graveyard. Really simple, really cheap, really easy, and it's not that hard to put your spells and traps in the graveyard, especially when you're running so many. Next up, only 2 Erebus because...
How come 2 Erebus?
I find his effect to be very much less useful than other cards in the deck. I mean, yeah, sending 2 to spin a card from your opponent's field or in their hand back to the deck. And then having a grave effect to recur himself back to the hand or recur an Aether back to the hand by, I think, discarding a spell or trap. It's meh. Not my favorite.
It's
a meh.
Okay.
Next up, we've got 3 Thestalos. I've actually had a hand where I summoned it, bounced it back to my hand, summoned it again, so my opponent was already minus 2 cards right there.
Damn, it's a nice hand loop, though.
Oh, yeah. And, he burdens your opponent if it's a monster. Fairly nice. Next, I run 1 Ryza, simply because targeting removal, but it puts a monster back on the top of the deck rather than shuffling it back, which is why I run it at 1. It's basically my missing Erebus, but it's a 1 tribute rather than 2. And yes, both Aether and Erebus have the same line of text where it's like, oh, you can tribute summon this with only one tribute summon monster. Still, not my favorite thing. And then last but not least, I have one Vanity's Fiend and one Majesty's Fiend. Both of these cards completely shut down certain decks in the meta simply because their effect is so simple. Neither player can special summon.
Meta is kind of shit at the moment.
Yep, the meta is in a fucking
Hashtag fuck Orcists.
The meta is more dysfunctional than the fucking Greek family.
True.
No, it's more dysfunctional than an Alabaman family.
It's more dysfunctional than Sydney.
Oh shit.
Okay, this is not the right order. Okay, so next up, I run 3 Edia simply because whenever she's normal summon, special summon another monster with 800 attack or defense, 800 attack and 1,000 defense from your deck, which leads her to combo in with Eidos.
So these are basically kind of like yin and yang together, really.
No, it's Aether and Erebus, but as vessels.
Oh, they're vessels.
Mm-hmm. And then, he gives you an additional normal summon for the turn whenever he's normal or special, or additional tribute summon including your regular normal summon or whatever for the turn. Mm-hmm. And then whenever Edia goes to the graveyard, you can recur a banished monarch spell or trap. So like Pantheism, you can recur that to your hand. And then Eidos, you can banish him from the graveyard. Target a monster with 800 attack and 1,000 defense in your graveyard to special summon it. So if you get your Edia in the graveyard with an Eidos, next turn you can just banish special, then special another Eidos. You get 2 summons that turn. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, last monster I run is Mithra. Mithra, you just special summon her from the hand. You give your opponent a token. It's level 1 Thunder, 800 attack, 1,000 defense.
No explanations.
And then whenever it's tributed for a tribute summon, you get an additional tribute summon this turn. Which this is part of the combo that let me, return Thessalos back to my hand to summon it again to ditch 2, but that also includes another vassal that I'm not running right now. It's in my side deck, but I don't have my side deck here, so I'm not even going to bother going over that.
And you don't run an extra deck?
Nope, because Monarchs, you don't want an extra deck. Everything revolves around not having an extra deck. So yeah,
this is not even the deck you're most famous for me.
Nope, I run Dynamist the most.
Yeah. I can see why.
It is a fun deck, and it takes away normal summons, and it's fun, right?
And it runs the opponent over.
Yep, and it limiter removals.
It comes at you like an 18-wheeler and then backs over you whenever you try to get back up.
Oh yeah. Yep, that's...
That's Dakoda's Monarch deck profile.
Budget Monarch deck profile. This is just 3 structure decks.
So
no megas.
$30.
Yeah, well, no, not $30. It's right now the structure decks are going for like $20 each on Amazon, so it's like $60. But it's still, you get your playset of Aether, you get 3 Pantheism, you get 3 Stormforth, you get all of the other Monarchs minus the megas.
So you get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yep.
All right.
Especially with the Aethers, because summoning one from the deck, haha, fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for sharing your deck profile with us, Dakoda.
Oh, it's not a problem. Budget Monarchs. Haha. Fun.
Most definitely.
Yep. And the whole Vanities and Majesty's Fiend, they can be bumped up to 2 each, or you can run one or the other at 3. Either way it works. I'm only running each of them at 1 because they do the exact same thing, so it's basically like I'm running 2 of both of them. But,
all right, well,
yeah.
Thanks for sharing the deck profile with y'all, and this is me signing off.
Yorp.